What's up everybody, Jesse here, or Game Over Jesse as y'all may know me, and today I want to talk to you all about Splatoon 2. Now, this is the original Splatoon here, but it is an amazing game. I absolutely loved it. It's one of my favorite games on the Wii U and of this generation. Probably one of my favorite games, period. But I had originally bought it for my little brother. It seemed like the perfect cartoony, fun, silly shooter game that wasn't too violent, that could sort of get him into gaming. It seemed simple enough, easy enough to kind of pick up and just go with and play, and there wasn't too much to it. But even though I bought it for him, I ended up falling in love with it, and as I said, it became quickly one of my favorite games to play online with friends or just by myself. But as I was playing it, obviously most of you know that are watching this video, when it first launched, there wasn't much to it. There's a few levels, there were some guns and weapons and stuff, and over time, every few weeks or so, they would release new content for free, which was great. But at the beginning it wasn't too much of a game. It wasn't bad, but there wasn't much there. But over time, and especially by now, there's a lot of content there. But one thing that's always been missing, that I've always been craving for when it came to Splatoon, was a really strong single-player experience. Now, maybe this is something they're working on with Splatoon 2, which is why I titled the video this. But specifically, what I want for Splatoon 2 is a really good story, not too complicated, just enough to make you want to complete the game, progress through there, like Mario and Zelda, save the princess, whatever, but come up with something original for Splatoon. And then I want it to be an adventure mode, or an adventure style story, not necessarily like Zelda. It could play more out like Super Mario 3D World, or Super Mario 64, to where you either go from section to section, level to level, and you complete the game, but each level is different, it has its own unique atmosphere. Or it could be like Super Mario 64, to where there's this one massive hub overworld, but then instead of pictures that you go through, there's paintings or something similar, Squid Ink or something, that'll warp you to these different places. And I think that would be awesome, because having like a 4-player split screen adventure with Splatoon would be great. And since they're still releasing content for Splatoon, you're thinking, well, what are they going to do with Splatoon 2? Are they even working on it since they're still making content for Splatoon 1? And I think yes. I think they have a really strong multiplayer experience right now, so they don't really have to work with that or work on that. They can give a few new improvements, and that would be it. Where they're still releasing content for the first Splatoon, maybe while they're developing Splatoon 2, they come up with ideals, and they're like, oh, I would love to do this for Splatoon 2, this is a great ideal, and everybody else agrees, but then they say, well, that isn't too much different from what we had in Splatoon 1, so instead of releasing that or saving it for Splatoon 2, why don't we change it a little bit and make it fit in with the original Splatoon, since we still need more content for that game. And I think that's sort of where some of these extra stages came from. Some of these new weapons that we get is just ideals that they came up with while working on Splatoon 2, but didn't really fit with the new way or the new direction, or it wasn't new enough to be considered a new game or a new level or something. So they just used it in the original. And that makes me excited for what Splatoon 2 could be, because with the strong single-player experience and the strong multiplayer experience, what else could they add? One thing that a lot of people want from Splatoon 2 that wasn't in the original is a better multiplayer experience. Now, when I say better, I don't mean that the first one was bad in any way. It could be improved, but it still wasn't bad. They could bring it from like an 8 to a 9 or even a 10, and all they need to do is add voice chat. Because now I think the only time you can talk to someone is when you're in a loading room or the lobby or something like that. You can't talk to your friends or your teammates while you're actually playing the multiplayer game. And that sucks. You have to set up a Skype call or a Discord chat, or even call them on the phone so you can communicate with your teammates or your friends. Because you could be trying to just cover as much ground as possible with the ink and not necessarily going after the other team to destroy them. And then someone else on your team could be just trying to protect one area or one section, and that's it. He doesn't go outside, he just tries to keep it your team's color as much as possible. And then someone else could just be going around trying to take out as many people as possible and not necessarily worrying about covering as much ground. And with everyone doing different things, it doesn't really work out too well. You end up losing, and it's hard to figure out without voice chat what everybody's trying to do. So adding voice chat, everyone can come up with these different things that they're doing, and they can talk about what they're doing and have a better chance of winning. Of course, it'll give the other team a better chance at winning as well, but in the end it'll just be more fun, because as long as you're not being rude to your teammates or something, which always happens in Call of Duty or Halo or whatever multiplayer game you're playing, but in Splatoon, I think the atmosphere is set up to where it'll make you want to be more kid-friendly. Like, you won't want to be as aggressive if you're losing or something, because hopefully you have that respect for Nintendo and their games, and it's not a mature-rated game at all. It's a silly, fun game, and hopefully if you do get upset, you'll just say like a silly comment or something. And maybe that's something Nintendo was worried about, was that kids are going to be playing these games, parents are going to be thinking Splatoon, it's a family-friendly game that has Nintendo behind it, so of course it's going to be nice for their kids. But then their kids go to them and say, hey, this person called me this, or he said this, and he won't stop calling me bad names. I think that's something Nintendo kind of feared, but I think with Splatoon 2, if they just gave it a chance, because you can always block those people, you can report them for abuse and stuff, and I think Nintendo has a really strict policy on that. So, I mean, why not take the chance, give it multiplayer, or voice chat on multiplayer? I mean, the Wii U gamepad has a microphone built into it, so it's not like it would have taken much to do. And then, not only that, but add the great single-player experience, add multiplayer in with the single-player experience, like a co-op single-player experience where you can play 2 or even 3 and 4 player, you can play online. Just don't do anything. So, to recap, make Splatoon 1 how it was, add new mechanics to the game, like a new ability instead of just going into the ink and swimming around and stuff. Add some other new abilities, maybe a 3rd race or a 4th race of squids or inklings, whatever you want to call them. Add different styles of weapons and powers and stuff. And then add in the voice chat for multiplayer. For the single player experience, have a huge adventure, maybe a hub, overworld or something like that, with different branching off levels that you can go to. Sort of like Super Mario 3D World or Super Mario 64. And then have it co-op or online co-op or something for that, and make the overall multiplayer experience a little bit better. And I think this is the perfect thing that you can do for Splatoon 2. I don't know what you would call it, Splatoon 2, Revenge of the whatever, Splatoon 2, Splatoon with like a 2 for tune, like SPLATWON or something. But I think that might get a little bit confusing for people that don't truly understand that it's a sequel. I know they did that with Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Kazooie, or Banjo-Tooie. They could do something similar with Splatoon or Splatoon 2, whatever you want to call it, or whatever they want to call it. But let me know what you think about this game, because I absolutely loved the original Splatoon. And if you want to play me in some Splatoon, my Nintendo Network ID, or Smash Brothers, Mario Kart, whatever, my Nintendo Network ID is GameOver_Jesse. So GameOver_JESSE. You can add me on there. I'll add you back. It should be displayed on the screen as well. It's the same as my Twitter handle or my YouTube name or whatever, just an underscore between Over and Jesse. So let me know your ideas for Splatoon 2. Do you even want it? what do you think they could make better in it? Do you want them to release the game as a complete package with everything on the disc and then give you actual DLC instead of just leaking out, like giving you half of a game and then leaking out levels and stuff over the next few months or something? Let me know what you think, and thank you all for watching. Subscribe, like, and be sure to let me know what you think in the comments below. Hey everyone, welcome to the end of the video. I want to thank you all for watching it all the way through. This is the end slate, or the part of the video where I'm supposed to say something clever to convince you to subscribe or watch another one of my videos. So if you liked what you've seen here, then I have another top 10 video where I go over the top 5 lies that Nintendo has told their fans, which is interesting if you're into that sort of thing. And then if you're into Zelda or just Nintendo games in general, I have another awesome video that I'm really proud of, where I collaborated with Yuri of Wind, HMK, McIntyre Productions, and several others to come up with a Zelda theory on who built Hyrule. We all know Hyrule from the game's overworld. In most Zelda games, it's the world that you're in, and you never really stop and think who actually built all of this. So we worked together, Yuri of Wind, HMK, McIntyre Productions, and we recorded this theory. I hope you guys like it. And last but not least, I want to take the time to thank my Patreons for actually making this video possible. If it wasn't for their support on patreon.com/GameOverChessy, then I wouldn't have really had the time to put forth to actually make this video. So thank you Alex Myers, Gus Calvo, Jonathan, the Itch Network, and Julio Rodriguez. Thank you all for your support and contributions on patreon.com. And if you would like to help support this channel as well, to help me create videos like this, or give me ideas, or even be in some of my videos, please head over to patreon.com/GameOverJesse.